Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, and this is Veeam 13 full course, and this is part 26th video in this course. And in today's session we are going to learn and perform another very important disaster recovery operation, which is failback to production in Veeam Backup and Replication. So in previous video we have successfully performed our planned failover, where we have moved our workload from primary data center to disaster recovery side. Now in this session we are going to reverse basically. So we will reverse that process and bring everything back to original production environment, which is called failback. So if you see here, in last video we did migrate, basically moved all our replication virtual machine live from DR, and now in this video we are going to do a failback to production. So we'll bring everything live from primary data center. So now let's start with a very basic concept. So what is failback? So failback is a process of moving workload from DR side back to the original primary site and restoring normal production operations. So this is done after you can consider maintenance is completed, issue is in primary data center is resolved, and infrastructure is now ready again for the workload. So in a simple terms, basically you can understand failover means primary to DR, and failback is DR to primary. So there are two type of failback in Veeam which supported, which is first one is failback to original VM. So restore to original production VM, most commonly used. So this is mostly going to be used in production infrastructure. And fail back to new location. So restore to different host or different data store, useful if the original infrastructure is changed and no more longer exists on your infrastructure. So now why failback is important? So failback is essential because DR is usually happen on the temporary basis. Primary site is designed for full production workload, and long-term operation should run from primary data center only. So failback ensure normal operations are restored from your primary data store, infrastructure is utilized properly, and DR environment is kept ready for the future use in case anything required. So now let's understand the real life example. So earlier we have basically performed failover due to maintenance activity, and application are live from the DR now. So this is what we have done. So now you can see all our 4 virtual machines are live from DR, which we have failed over in last video, and you can see these virtual machines are running from the replica and in active state, and you can see these are status is failover. So now this is our current scenario. So now maintenance is completed, primary data center is fully operational now. So if you continue running from DR, it may be not be able to handle full workload, maybe on working days or production hours. So it may be not optimized for long-term production uses. So for you perform a failback, so changes made in DR are synchronized back to the primary data center, production VMs are restored in the primary site, and then users are redirected back to the production site, so everything returns to normal. So this is what we are going to do. So before we go to the lab demonstration, let's discuss quickly about the benefits. So a benefit of failback: restoring normal production operations, ensure proper infrastructure utilized in your primary data center, maintain DR readiness. So in case anything goes wrong, if you are still running in DR, then you don't have any place to go else. So no data loss during the transition, and smooth and controlled migration back. So best practices, always follow these best practices in your environment. So always validate DR VMs before failback, ensure primary site is fully ready, monitor synchronization process, and validate service after failback, and commit failback only after testing is completed. And then common mistake to avoid, always avoid these mistakes, such as performing failback without validation, not synchronizing the latest changes, ignoring application testing post failback, and premature commit to failback environment, and basically non-monitoring the job status. So these are the some practices. So quickly what we are going to do, basically this is my lab environment. So I got my domain controller and DNS server, then Veeam server, and then two ESXi hosts, one in primary data center, one in secondary data center, and then I got my vCenter server applying. So now let's start the demo step by step. So what I'm going to do basically, so the very first thing, ensure your DR VM is running. Before failback, replica VM should be running from DR side and application should be working. User should be connected, and this confirm the DR is active. So we have validated in last video, so everything is working fine from DR. So we can this is very initial step, and but most important step to make sure you are healthy on your DR side. Now log into Veeam Backup and Replication, go to Home and navigate to Replica section. So we are standing here only, and we can see the active sessions, basically VM server. So now selected the replicated VM, identify VM currently running in DR, right click on VM and start failback to production. So let's do this. So I'll select all my 4 virtual machine and then right click and failback to production. So now this will launch this VMware replica failover, and my all 4 virtual machine are selected, and you can see size is approx 150 MB for all virtual machine, because this is what we have written in DR. So now I'll go ahead and click next, and now fail back to original. So we have another options also, fail back to original VM restored in different location, fail back to specified location, and fail back to original. So I'm going to do on original, so click here. So also, if you want to escalate your failover from the failover triggered software problem, so basically you can do the quick rollback also. So synchronize changes blocks only. So I'm going to select the failback mode to auto. However, you can schedule it on any specific given time, or you can basically wait for failback to commit manually. So now I'll go ahead and select this automatic. So the failback mode is going to be commit automatically. So I'll go ahead and click next now, and these are the virtual machine which is going to be a failback, and I'll go ahead and power on the target VM after restore. So now replica VM will be powered off during the switchover to the production, so that's fine. So click on finish. Now basically this is going to start the failback process. So the very first thing is going to be a data synchronization. So this is critical. Veeam will copy all the changes made to DR VM back to primary VM, and then basically synchronize both environment. This ensure no data loss during the failback, and then it's going to commit the changes. So after synchronization, Veeam will prepare a primary VM. Replica VM will continue running until the final switch is completed, and now it's basically going to perform a failback switch. So primary VMs are going to be powered on, and DR VMs are going to be powered off. Production workload shifted back to primary data center. So this is what going to be happen. So now if I go here, you will see the status is changed now to processing, and now if I go to running state, so you should be able to see all my 4 here. So planned failover for these virtual machine, basically now you can see failback is running, and you can see session type is failback and status is working. So if I double click, you can see failback is started. So now waiting for next task, and required backup infrastructure is assigned. So same time it's going to run the job in all the virtual machine. Now you can see preparing the original VM. So basically it's going to perform all these tasks which is listed here, from data synchronization to commit failover and perform a failback switch. So once this is done, and our virtual machine which is sitting in the primary data center is ready to power on, it will go ahead and power on the virtual machine. So now you can see creating working snapshot for original virtual machine, creating a replica restore point. So everything is automated. You don't need to perform anything manually. So things are going good. I think for all virtual machine it's running with the same pace. So now you can see the replica, calculating replica signature for hard disk, and our all 4 virtual machine are working in same status. So now you can see calculating replica hard disk signature is 2% already completed for VM02. So I'm going to pause recording here. Once the we are ready with the this hard disk comparison. I'll go ahead and resume from there. So now you can see here approx 93% is completed for DC02. It took approx 30 minutes, and let's verify for SQL. So SQL is also at 94% and VM01. So VM0 at 94%, and this is VM02, which is last machine, and this is at 95%, 96. So this is why it took approx 30 minutes as of now. So this is why it is very important to perform failover and failback in during the maintenance window only. So you can go ahead and inform your end users like these servers are not going to be available during this given downtime window or maintenance window. So now let's verify this VMs are still active on our DR. So we need to wait for this signature calculation to get completed, and then it will move to next step. So I'm going to pause the recording once again, and then we'll continue once this calculation is completed. So replica signature is completed. Now it has started the original signature hard disk validation, which is on basically attached to our original virtual machine here. So now this is also going to take some time to validate everything. So let's see where we are on VM01. So VM01 also original validation is started, and this is SQL. So SQL also. So now again it's going to take 30 minutes to validate the original virtual machine signature. So I'm going to pause the recording once again. Once this is ready, I'll resume from there. So now you can see here switch replica to production is completed successfully for all 4 virtual machine. And now if I go to my vCenter server and validate, so basically all of virtual machines are live from now from our domain data center, primary data center, which is LHODC, and all these virtual machines are running with their original IP address now. So this is good. And now if I go to here on the replica which says active, you can see here failback. So these machines are already failback. So now if I go here and I can basically commit failback. So let me do a commit failback for one virtual machine. So commit failback, and this is going to permanent. So it's going to basically mark that virtual machine live from this location now on the Veeam. So you can see here failback commit operation started, and you can see this is now coming to processing. And if I go to running task, you should be able to see uh, switch replica to production is working and commit failback. And now you can see this is the replication job. We can close this, and now this is the task which we have initiated. So it will take some time to commit these changes in the production virtual machine basically. So here you can see no Veeam job needs to be updated, failback to original location. So this is good. If there is a failback to other location, it will ask you to basically change the Veeam jobs also. So everything looks good, and then unlock Veeam's file, failback committer no operation stopped. So now this virtual machine you can see here, it's gone for here from here because this is committed from the this location as a marked as a production virtual machine. Basically now if I go to replica, you should be able to see now 4. So one of them this one is our virtual machine which we have just committed. So soon this is going to come as a normal status. So currently you can see this is says processing, so it will take some time to update. So now I'll go ahead and basically commit failback for all these 3 virtual machine, and we'll make sure these are now running from our production storage and production data center. So now let me go here, and you can see commit failback is working. DC2 is also good. So all these virtual machines are now switched to production is completed, and you can see here commit failback is also successful for all 4 virtual machines. Now if I go here you can see these machines are now in ready state. So basically now you can go ahead and perform a planned failover or failover now to this virtual machine. However, this virtual machine still says processing, so might be it will take some time. Okay, so this is why, because there is a replication job is going on, and you can see here this is under creation of the snapshot. So this virtual machine currently processing for replication, so that's why. So once this is done, I'll go ahead and make sure my replication is working perfectly fine. So this is one of the most important uh, thing to check post failover and failback. You need to make sure your replication does not break after performing the failover and failback, so you need to make sure. So just wait for some time and let's validate for this virtual machine, and then I'm going to retry this, because these virtual machine are in failed state. So we'll go ahead and retry this to make sure our replication is working fine for all four virtual machines. So let me wait for this job to get completed for VM02, and then we are going to retry this. Now if you see, for one virtual machine this got replication got successful, for others three it got failed. So I'll go ahead and retry this. So this time it should be basically fix all three virtual machine also. So now you can see your virtual machines are in ready state, but the most recent replication or restore point we don't have for these three virtual machines. So I'll go ahead and run this to make sure we have a recent restore point for all these three virtual machine also, and then replication back to get back to normal state. So now you can see this is going to build the list of object to process, and then it will identify all the three virtual machine. So this is retry one. So let's wait for a few seconds here. Now you can see it is retrying for all three failed virtual machine, and now preparing guest for hot backup. So this is looking good. Now it will take few seconds to basically move ahead. So now you can see creating snapshot and then getting list for guest files from local users. So everything looks good here. Now it will prepare the basically a replica. So preparing a replica VM, processing configuration. So everything looks good. Now it's creating the helper snapshot, which is going to be used for replication. And now it says started the calculating the disk for DC2 and the SQL and VM. So all three virtual machine now has started the calculating the disk, and now it's going to take few minutes. Depending on my lab setup, it's going to take 10 minutes approx to calculate all three virtual machine, and then we will get this replication hopefully completed for all three virtual machines. So I'm going to pause here. Once this replication is basically this calculation is completed for disk, I'll go ahead and resume from there. So now you can see for two virtual machine it's reached to 28 and 21%. So replication is validation is going on very well. So this was the final step in this demo. So we have resumed the replication after failback. Replication job resume, and changes from primary VM again going to be replicated to DR. So system is now fully protected again for the failover and failback. So in today's session we have basically learned what is failback is, why failback is important, and step-by-step implementation of failback for multiple virtual machine with the single click. And we discuss about the real world scenario, best practices, and common mistake. Also we have seen the benefit discussed regarding benefits of having the failback in place. So failback is a critical part of any disaster recovery plan, ensuring that your environment returns to normal after any disruption. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe me for more videos, and if you have any query, any question related to this, you can always post in my given mail ID. Thank you once again. Bye bye.